This was the last time voters could see where the candidates stand on big issues. What did you think? Well, let's find out what Laura Merrifield Wilson, Associate Professor of Political Science at UIndy, thinks. Good morning again. Good to see you.
Good morning. It's good to see you as well.
All right. What was your overall take from watching last night?
Well, this was an actual debate. You know, the first debate that we saw, there was a lot of bickering, yelling, chaos, and confusion. This was remarkably civil. I think the candidates probably learned maybe from the Indiana gubernatorial debate earlier this week, but certainly from the vice presidential debate, where you really got a taste of the issues, the policies, and where the candidates stood differently. I mean, overall, this was 90 minutes that would be really informative to a voter, although probably one of the things we'll talk about is many people have already voted. This was a real debate, and this was, I think, kind of a highlight for both campaigns.
I only noticed really the mute button in play just a couple of times, just briefly, which really surprised me. And I think it surprised a lot of people, thinking because of how drastically different the first debate was, that may be in play a little bit more, that they would try to talk over each other a little bit.
I think the campaigns learned from that first debate. Everyone was talking about it afterwards, like how awful it was, how difficult it was. And for a candidate, you're trying to gain supporters and voters. You're not trying to push people away. Maybe it was also just the threat of the mute button, that people knowing, oh gosh, they could be muted. As you said, it was used a few times, but it wasn't used nearly as much as I think many of us assumed it might actually have been.
Let's talk about important lines, or maybe kind of those moments that stood out to you. I want you to give kind of maybe what you thought President Trump's best line was, and then what you think the biggest takeaway from Joe Biden was.
Well, for President Trump, the biggest argument is talking about Joe Biden as a career politician. And he used that over and over. You know, the 47 years in office, the 8 years as vice president. You say you want to do all these things, but you haven't done them. I'm not a career politician. Without a doubt, I think that was best line for President Trump last night. And that's probably his best argument in terms of the campaign, too. When you look at the other side in terms of former Vice President Joe Biden, he talked about Trump looking at a red America versus a blue America. He just looks at the United States of America, kind of playing into that idea that Trump is dividing the country and playing into this polarization, but Joe Biden would serve to unite. I think those were two great lines for the candidates. And the biggest thing in this debate was not to mess up. And in that way, I think both campaigns were really successful.
I think we only have a few seconds left, but I think one of the biggest takeaways for you, too, is not just looking at these two candidates, but looking at down ballot races. Do you think that's one of the most important things, at least this late in the game?
It absolutely is. There are a lot of people that straight ticket vote. So they look at the president and they look at the former vice president, and that determines not just who they vote for the top of the ticket, but it is all of those lower level races as well.
All right. We sure do appreciate it. As always, thank you for watching and getting up with us and talking about it. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.